Detroit Lions defensive lineman Tyrunn, Ty Walker. Talked to him earlier on Wednesday. He was kind enough to give me 10 minutes after practice. And I started out by asking him about being on the road, losing that 18-point lead, but then coming back to secure the victory and how big it was to do that.
I mean, it was big. I mean, on the defensive side of the ball, we talked about it. We got to play better, but it was big for our offense to pick us up and come together and get that win, get that first win of the season.
So what do you feel like the defense needs to do better, needs to do differently after watching the way that the Colts were able to come back and tie that game?
The defense, we got to just finish the game, man. I mean, I think I don't know how – I can't explain it. I mean, it ever flows in a game, and the momentum changes constantly. But we just got to be able to finish and complete what we was doing. We started off hot in the first quarter, especially, and we got to be able to finish that out and get that win for our team.
Players tell me all the time it's really difficult to get just one win in the NFL. Week to week, it's worth celebrating when you get that one win. So, Ty, how difficult is it to log a victory every Sunday?
Oh, man, these wins in the NFL is at a premium, man. I mean, you think about it, 32 teams battle each and every week, and, I mean, there's only 16 winners. So, I mean, you sit there and you look at it, I mean, you go there and you put in all those work on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I mean, you do all that work for one game. And, I mean, so everybody's working hard to try to get that one game, try to get that edge. So, I mean, when you get those wins, especially how we had it in our hands, we gotta close out the deal, especially on defense. As a defensive guy, that's our mindset, to close it out.
The Lions have a lot of depth at defensive line, your position specifically. How good can that group of guys be that you're with day in and day out?
Oh, man, we can be great. I mean, just keep working at it and just keep getting better, keep honing in our fundamentals and technique. And we'll be all right, man. I mean, we got some youth. We got some old veteran guys, some guys that's been around the league with Wallace Gilberry and Elodie. And then we got some guys that's been around a little less, but they still got some veteran leadership and some experience. I mean, it's going to be good for that group to gel and get better each and every day as the season goes on.
We're spending a couple of minutes with Lions defensive lineman Ty Walker after that big victory on the road in Indy to open up the season. It's After Hours with Amy Lawrence on CBS Sports Radio. So I read a quote where you talked about the difference between the defensive scheme with New Orleans, where you were previously, and what you are in with the Lions now. How long did it take you to get comfortable after leaving New Orleans and joining Detroit?
I mean, you think about it, a lot of some people didn't understand what I meant when I said it. I mean, and I ain't talking about production or stats or anything. I'm talking about fundamentals and technique. You go from a 3-4 defense where you're reading and you're playing 3-4 defense to 100% attack. And so that's the big difference. It's like driving a limousine and driving a Ferrari or something like that. I mean, it's a slow roll thing. It's a reading thing. You read your keys. You see what you – in the defense that we play now, it's just all attack defense. So, I mean, that's all we do is attack. And, I mean, the both defenses is very successful, but, I mean, it's just a different style of play, and that's what I meant by it. I mean, just going from that to where I came from now, I mean, now I'm 2 years into this defense now, so, I mean, it's much more familiar to me, and it's much more easier to grasp.
A month into last year, you had a broken leg. So you just joined the Lions, you'd earned a starting spot, and then you had to go through surgery and you had to wait out the rest of the season. Obviously difficult when you're talking about NFL careers that are not all that long, Ty. But what positives did you take away from the time where you couldn't play and you had to watch?
I mean, when you sit down and watch, you watch the game, you watch film, you watch everything. And I was able to take care of my body. I was able to learn how to take care of my body, learn what I need to do. And when I fixed my broken leg, I also focused on other things too, other aspects of my body, like getting my hips right and all those little things that cause soft tissue injuries or causes some time out of the game. So I mean, once you out, you can sit back and kind of really evaluate you and how you play and your body and your health. And I mean, so that was one of the good things, that I was able to evaluate me and actually just watch film and get some studying done through film work. And so, I mean, that was good for me.
Okay, that being said, how was it getting back on the field once you were healthy and able to play again?
Oh, it was great, man. I mean, to go out there and run around with the guys again, man, I felt like a rookie all over again at one point, man. But it was great to go out there and compete with my guys and do the things that we need to do to be successful. I mean, I'm happy to be where I'm at, and I love my guys, and I mean, it's fun.
It's After Hours with Amy Lawrence on CBS Sports Radio. Ty Walker, Detroit Lions defensive lineman with 4 tackles in last week's victory against the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, Ty, this is probably not a fair question, maybe even a trick question. But there's so much emphasis right now in the NFL on player safety. And we know there are special rules for quarterbacks. Can't really hit him up high, can't necessarily hit him down low, got to be careful when you hit him. So, what is the right way to tackle a quarterback in the NFL?
Oh man, that is a trick question. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you go there. I mean, you kind of lower your pad level. I mean, I'd rather aim low than aim high. You know what I'm saying? And so you kind of lower your pad level and keep your eyes up, man. If you keep your eyes up, you should be all right. And that's probably the best way I can explain it. That's the best way I can put it. It's something like explaining the catch rule. I mean, I can't really tell you. So. I mean, I don't know. I just go in there and my thing is I try to get my hands on him. If I get my hands on him, it'll be all right.
So does it feel like it's getting harder and harder to know what's legal and what's not? The best way to tackle a quarterback, almost like the strike zone is shrinking where you can hit him and where you can't?
I don't know. I mean, I think the league does a good job about the safety with players and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm not gonna knock them for that. They're doing it for the right reasons. I just don't know how you can. I don't know. I really don't know how. Like my thing is in the trenches, you don't really have that many kill shots anyway. As a D lineman, it's harder for linebackers and safeties and safeties. Corners don't really hit like that, but it's harder for those guys in the back seven because they're coming with momentum and they're coming from a distance. And the impact, it's hard to judge it. With my position, it's not that hard to do much. Usually we get like hands to the face or hands to the crown of the helmet or something like that. We don't really get a lot of helmet to helmet.
I guess then that will keep you out of trouble as a defensive lineman. It's After Hours with Amy Lawrence on CBS Sports Radio, spending some time with Detroit Lions defensive lineman Ty Walker. And I really enjoyed reading a column in the Detroit Free Press about your trip back home to your small town in Louisiana with all of the flooding, the devastation that happened over the summertime. Why was it so important for you to spend that time there back at home helping out?
Yeah, so we went back home and helped some of the victims, me and Damon Harrison for the Giants. We're from the same area. So we helping a lot of the people, especially the kids. Right now, we're in the process of getting school uniforms for all the kids in those schools. We're teaming up with, like, the school board in that area and the school officials, and they're helping us out with that. So, I mean, that's going great.
I'm sure it was difficult to see areas where you grew up and the towns that you're familiar with, people having to go through this. But what was the reaction when you were there handing out supplies and giving assistance to families?
A lot of people is grateful, man. You get those people grateful that guys like myself and Damon come back and give back. I mean, it's not like we have to do it. It's not like we're going to get fined for doing it or fined for not doing it. I mean, that's a great feeling. And I mean, well, like I said, when I grew up, my city's not that big. I mean, everybody knows everybody. And so just to go out there and help those people and help these kids and show them that it's still hope, or you can do something with yourself, or you can be in my position or a Damon or be a lawyer or a doctor. You can be successful. You can come out of Liberia and be successful and help out people. So, I mean, it gives the kids hope, and, I mean, it gives the adults hope as well that people are really thinking about them and they really feeling what they're going through. So, I mean, that was good for me to go down there and do that for my family and the people in my community.
Last thing, Ty, before I let you go, I was looking at your Twitter. These are your words. You describe yourself as a Detroit Lions player and New Iberia role model, and that is your hometown. So what does it mean to you to be a role model?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I go home, man, you talk to the kids around and everybody around. Like, I'm not one of them guys where where like when we get off time, I don't go to like Miami or Vegas or nothing like that. I go home and I hang around the high schools and the kids and stuff like that, and I kind of try to school them on kind of some of the stuff that they need to be doing, especially when it comes to education and stuff like that. I do scholarships for kids and at my high school and all kind of other stuff, man. If I see them doing good, I get them something, get them a little gift or something like that, just to show them that good work is really appreciated and that you can be rewarded for doing good. So I mean, I try to keep them out of all those bad things. So I try to lead by example. So I can't be out in the news or in the media doing some stuff that I'm not supposed to be doing and I'm supposed to be telling them the right thing. So I try to more so lead by example. But man, you go to Liberia and mention my name, a lot of kids gonna be like, yeah, I know him. I see him all the time, and which they're right. So every chance I get, I go home and try to give back or do something for the community or anything like that. So I mean, that's good.
It sounds like you have an amazing mom, Ty.
Yeah, she's amazing, man. Oh my God, she's right now, as we speak, she's sorting out over 1,000 school uniforms right now for these kids. So I mean, she kind of, that's my backbone. She helps me out a lot, man.
So cool. Such a neat story, and what you're doing is awesome. You can follow Ty on Twitter at TWalker337. And it was really good to talk to you, Ty. We look forward to seeing what the Lions do this year, especially on that defensive line. Thanks so much for your time.
Oh, same here. Thank you for having me.